we're testing out ideas. We now have the physical space to be creating more content, with the priority being content to, market the products that we are creating, and the reasoning behind all the products, and the feelings and emotions that it gives you to be rocking One Bone and being comfortable and confident in your body. In the mix, we're testing out a bunch of things that are either going to work or either not going to work. One of those things that we tested out was a 7 to 10 minute daily concept that we were fleshing out. And in the midst of fleshing out, we also put some of it out and got feedback quickly, both internally and externally. And it was this pop culture podcast called What Did I Miss? And the concept was to give you a few topics throughout your day that you can, bring to work, that you could use on a date night, that you could, if you're chilling and chatting with your boys or whoever you're hanging out with, you've got something mildly interesting to say. The idea is that we are by no means experts in anything. I stress that. Even in making shirts, we've gotten pretty good at it. We can always do better. And so what is the definition of an expert, I say? You're always learning, you're always trying to improve and progress. So we were talking about anywhere in the neighborhood of movies to tech to sports to music to fashion to things that we think you would like, based on things that we kind of like, because so far we're pretty much the same. We're just creating shirts and clothing that we kind of want in our wardrobe and we want in our closet. And so far, so good that it has turned into things that you want as well. So that's what we were starting with in terms of like content production. And internally, we were conflicted. We were like, what is the point of this? Like, okay, the point is to give them something throughout the day, but does it really align with what we're trying to do as a brand? Does it really align with what we're trying to do from a content creation standpoint? Should we be investing so much time into this and energy and trying to figure it out and practice and polish? So internally, we've been going back and forth on that. And in the midst of doing that, we decided to put a few out just to kind of see if, I suppose, the audience or you could tell us if we're doing something right or if we're doing something wrong. And I think what we learned very early on, which leads to the conversation with Ben, which is a beautiful 35-minute long conversation that we had, which I think we have intentions of sharing. Not sure how, in what capacity. Is it the full conversation? Is it just snippets? Is it important that it's the full conversation?
We'll figure that out.
We're figuring it out with you. Mm-hmm. So last week we put out, a few samples, and the unfortunate thing is that they did really well. That right?
Yeah, it's like a good problem to have.
It's a pretty good problem to have.
Yeah.
They did really, really well. And it kind of scared us in a sense to say, like, with these internal conversations that we're having at One Bone, it's like, what's the point in doing it? Does it align? And then it happens and it goes really well. And what does really well mean? We ended up getting swooped into the algorithm, and one of our clips from the podcast went crazy viral. It started to increase subscribers on YouTube, which is one of our goals here. It got an insane amount of eyeballs on the clip, which is also one of our goals here. We want to create more awareness. We want to give, other reasons for people to communicate and connect with our brand so that they could ultimately find more comfort and confidence in their daily life by hopefully rocking One Bone.
Right. And I think in the fact that clip was so successful, or that we had a few clips that were successful, it kind of led to the conversation of why we're making the content that we are making.
Yeah.
And does it align with the message that One Bone has been giving to its audience and people that have been wearing our clothing, which is inclusivity,
yes,
and comfort,
yes,
and just feeling good about yourself.
Yeah.
Is our content aligned with those messages?
Yeah. That is the exact question that we've been asking. And I think the clip doing so well helped us answer those questions more quickly. I think that it saved us time by putting those things out and having it all kind of like in the ecosystem of how we want these things to live. And yeah, it just exposed a lot of things to us quickly, made us have conversations quicker than maybe we anticipated having. And here we are back at the mic trying to figure out, what is the most appropriate thing? What is the thing that you want to be seeing and hearing us do? Which again is another great segue into this conversation with a guy who has become a fan of our brand. He only wears one bone throughout the day. He had an amazingly funny experience at a big and tall store that, really like plants the whole mission of what we're trying to accomplish. Really, it plants it. His name is Ben Johnson. He is a pastor. He is a motivational speaker. And he ended up on our doorstep randomly on Thursday. And it was at the heat of our internal conversations of, is this good content? Is this something that people would want? And it really just opened up a perfect, transparent conversation to try and find our compass and try and find our true north in creating this stuff.
Yeah, I really do feel like he came at the right time.
Yeah.
Not only did he give us feedback, but it was with so much like
Love,
right? Like we didn't feel like he was judging us or pointing fingers. He was more like, I love what you guys are doing. You guys are clearly talented and can bring a lot to the table as far as content. But again, does it align with the brand? Because this is what he said. He loves the brand and he loves the message that has been put out there. But he was, questioning whether or not our content was fitting in that world.
Yeah. And that's the exact reason, again, why we put it out, was to get that questioning. And again, if the questioning didn't come, well, that proved our concept right. And if the questioning did come, then it proves that we got to figure it out more and polish it more and go back to the drawing board and see what we could be doing better. I think ultimately there will always be questions no matter what. If you're putting content out on the internet or you're selling a product on the internet, you're always going to have the questions. You're always going to have the haters, and you're always going to have the lovers and the fans. So it's just about finding that balance.
That's right. And it's ironic that his name is Ben, because I like to think of Uncle Ben, not the rice.
Okay.
Not the rice.
Okay, I was thinking
Uncle
the rice.
Ben from Peter Parker, like from Spider-Man.
Right.
Peter Parker's uncle. When he said, "With great power comes great responsibility." I think Aunt May said it in one of the movies, but in any case, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
With great power comes great responsibility, and I think by putting out clips and them going sort of viral, we can see that we do have a great power here. And now, what is that responsibility? And what do we actually want to accomplish with that content? And I do think that one thing that came up with our conversation with Ben was empowering our audience and our listeners. So
amplifying One Bone's community voice.
That's right.
That is like the major takeaway that I got from it. Again, transparently with our team trusting, me to kind of lead the direction while also collaborating as a team under One Bone. That has always been my vision.
Right.
And now it's exciting to be sharing that vision with our team at One Bone, but also more importantly with everyone that is taking part in the One Bone community. That is what we are here for. And Uncle Ben, I think, said it perfectly and also makes a delicious rice. I'm just saying.
Great rice. Great rice.
Yeah.
So, one bone is very much a peoplehood, which is something that you've said, right?
Yes.
It doesn't matter what color, what creed, everyone is welcome at one bone. And we want to sort of find a middle ground between being funny and also empowering our audience, right? Because we don't want to stop being fun.
We're hilarious guys.
Come on now.
There's too much fun at HQ. We got to share that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we don't want you to think that we're just going to go full in serious on everything that we cover. We will still be fun. I think now it's about, again, transparency and letting you know that we're figuring things out as we go.
100%.
And sometimes we might, steer off the path momentarily, but we're always going to check in with each other and with our audience as to how you feel about the content and see if it lines up with what our main mission is, right?
Fully agree.
Awesome. Do you have anything to add?
No, I think you said it perfectly. And my default is to say, no, I don't have anything to add, and you said it perfectly, and then I generally add something, but I want to try something new.
Yeah.
You said it perfectly.
Thank you, man. That really gives me a boost of confidence.
You're welcome.
Kind of like this one bone shirt that I'm wearing.
Okay, what are you wearing?
Shameless plug.
Yeah, 100%.
You tell me, what am I wearing, man? This is my go-to, man.
Yeah.
Black
It has
Smoke.
become your go-to Black Smoke Captain.
Yeah.
The crew neck sweater. It is pretty much completely sold out. The holiday season is crazy. I'm also wearing a piece that is essentially sold out. It's the Essential Bomber. I'm wearing a pocket. I'm wearing the Everywhere pants, and there's no point in me even saying this because I know that we're not going to put this out today.
Right.
But just know whenever you were watching this, this was the last day of our 20% off holiday sale to make sure you get your package in time for the holidays. So if you're watching this and you didn't order, well, you didn't get your gift.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. Sorry. Happy New Year. I don't know when this is going out. Anyway, you'll see. You'll see.
They'll see it when it comes out. Yeah. All right. So I think that pretty much sums it up. Great conversation with Ben.
Yeah.
Looking forward to having more conversations with you listeners out there. Some constructive criticism, some positive feedback and whatnot, some feedback in general is always appreciated. So thank you for listening. And be on the lookout for us because we're going to keep this thing going.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think that is a good opportunity to kind of illustrate the vision that we have for the content. And, you see the mural behind us. If you're watching this, if you're listening, I apologize for making visual cues, but also go watch it on YouTube so you can see what we're talking about. But there's a beautiful mural in the back of us. This is the supposed retail space that we are building out. You can't see, but to the left of me is shelving and racking to be featuring our clothing at HQ, to be kind of sampling out, pop-up shops in our own home. We went to Nashville in October with another video that has been produced, and we're going to be sharing soon, or I guess whenever this goes out, it'll either before or after. Anyway, we apologize for the confusion of the schedule right now. But we're building out this space. We have a 1,200 square foot warehouse in the back that we are in the middle of emptying out to create our podcast studio, or let's call it our microphone lab. Whatever we're going to be talking about will be back there. We want to build a gym there as well. For selfish and selfless reasons, we all want to get a little bit healthier. We all want to look and feel better about ourselves on a daily basis. However, that equation represents to you in your life and how you want to be looking and feeling better and maybe making healthier choices. We have a vision of doing that as a team, bringing in trainers, bringing in people to work out with us and teach us certain things that we could take in our daily lives to make life a little bit healthier for us.
That's right.
Oh,
go for it.
No.
Yeah, no. So we definitely look forward to working alongside some people who are experts or are more
Yes.
knowledgeable in the field of athletics and fitness than us.
Yeah.
We definitely look forward to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We look forward to finding experts in everything and anything that we're talking about. And if it's an expert in, mental health or physical health or movies or tech or sports, and we could learn something new, being that we are by no means experts, that's, I think, the kind of ethos behind the content that we are creating, other than the content that we will be creating in this space to tell you about our products, to offer you style guides in how to wear certain One Bone products and things you could match with maybe within the One Bone line. And if you're wearing these pants, you could wear it with this and this and this and this shirt. Or if you're wearing this shirt, you could match it with this and this layer. Those are things that we're going to be doing. Like we said, the biggest podcast, which again, like the conversation with Ben is truly a version of what the biggest podcast is.
Right.
I think the biggest podcast vision is to dive into, the person's life a little bit more than we did with Ben. That was really just more of a feedback conversation. But the biggest podcast is a conversation with people in our community, highlighting their life, highlighting certain struggles they've gone through, certain triumphs they've gone through, their relationship with fashion and shopping and clothing, because that's obviously very relevant for us and for people to hear. And just to have fun with everything that we're doing. I think that if fun is the direction driver, obviously with proving it from a business standpoint and making sure that, you're not just having fun and there's no way of fueling the fun.
Right.
That is our intention for the content, is just to have some fun in here, create some awesome stuff that many of us can relate on and talk about and share. And I think that's where we're going.
Yeah. I mean, at risk of making this a run-on sentence, just be on the lookout for what's coming next.
Yeah.
Nothing but big things for the biggest brand. I was holding that one back. Yeah. Came up with it while you were speaking.
I'm trying to practice being speechless, and you've given multiple amazing outros. I think the only thing you didn't say is that you could stay tuned with all of this on onebone.com, and our socials are at One Bone Brand everywhere. Other than that, bro, you're a month into this game.
Yeah.
You're hitting it out of the park, and I'm proud of you. And I think that
man.
is an important thing to be discussing. Is we're trying to figure out this content thing, and again, it's a 20-minute conversation or so now. I think if you are still listening, you very understand how transparent we are trying to be. And Akeem, AP Johnson, whoever you want to be, you are here for about a month now. It's been split up by you going to Jamaica.
Yeah.
And you having a great time there. And now I'm about to head off next week and have our second baby. So you've come. We've had a bunch of false starts, right? You've come. We've got 2 weeks, and then we had a week off, and then we had 2 weeks of like also finding more footing. And now I'm about to dip. So I know that we're gonna find our footing. It's exciting. And again, on a transparent level, we're just building out our systems right now for content production, for consistency, for fun, and for business, So what's it been like working here for the past month, and like the good and the bad and the ugly? I think it's important for us to know, and I think it's also important that like we're not trying to fake anything, let's say,
right,
in creating stuff like this.
Yeah. So I'd say the good was that you've pushed me outside of my regular comfort zone, which I'm very big on. I'm very big on pushing myself to getting to a point where I wasn't able to before. Like, you already know this, I do improv on stage, and that's something that I had to very much push myself out of my comfort zone to even try. And coming to One Bone, it's like, not only am I doing a podcast, it's something I've done before, but we're releasing it on a regular basis, and it's videotaped, and we're going to be doing it. And so even if you don't like let's say that wasn't the best episode. We're still putting it out and we're going to learn as we go. So I'd say that's the greatest thing about being at One Bone is being pushed beyond my comfort zone and just the amount of things I've been learning. Like I'm not just staying in the pocket of things that I already know. It's a very transparent company. No pun intended. Our offices have glass windows and whatnot.
Yeah, for sure.
But you're letting me into these conversations of like, where do we go next and whatnot. And so I feel very heard, and I feel as though my opinion is valued, and that's very big for me. So those are like the two takeaways. Negative wise, man, you gonna put me on the spot like that? I mean,
hey, listen, we could have also cut it at that, but I think say it. I again, we can decide if this is a part of. But I also say what you're comfortable saying. You know, like,
no, for sure. I had to think about it.
Yeah.
Because it's not like it's something like that's there. You know, but I would say there is. Because the content studio is being built, there is a lot of things that can be done. It's almost somewhat overwhelming. It's like if someone asked me to write just write a story. It's like too many options, like a story about what, you know? So I think that's a gift and a curse where it's like, okay, I have so much that I can do. It's like, what do I focus on first? And it can become overwhelming at times or confusing.
Yeah. If I were to tell you, write a story about a blue tree in an orange forest and the people there are taller than the trees, go. Like, obviously that's a creative experiment, but at least there's rigidity, there's a little bit of structure, and the part of the picture has already been painted. It's up to you to draw other aspects of it and color in certain things, but you know certain colors, you know certain things that are in the picture, and you know that now you are being given the creative freedom to put those things together.
That's right.
What has happened over the past month is that there have been no real tall trees, taller people, blue tree and orange grass, or etc.
Right.
There've been no flags being planted into the ground.
The mise en scène has not been established.
Although sometimes my methods may be deemed as crazy, that actually was intentional. Because I kind of want you to feel that confusion almost in, whoa, there's so much going on here. There's so much opportunity. There's so much creative freedom that we can take.
Yeah.
And now, as you're seeing, you know, we put it out onto the board. We're starting to try to use Asana as a project management tool. And now it's about, okay, the tree is blue, the grass is orange, the people are taller. Now let's go.
Exactly.
You know, so I'm excited about your negative feedback, because your negative feedback is intentional, and also everything negative is positive. It just depends on how you want to look at it.
That's right.
You know, every L is a W if you just want to look at it as such. It's all about education. It's all about learning, and that feedback is so valuable in us building this thing out. So at this point, I see the clock and I see that the camera is about to run out of time. So onebone.com, you know it. One Bone brand on socials. That is AP Johnson. I am Adam Greenberg, one of the co-founders of One Bone. We're working this out. We're figuring it out. It's the biggest brand. We're just trying to give you the value that you are looking for from a community. We love you. Have the biggest day. Peace.
Biggest.